Welcome world, welcome everybody, wherever you're tuning in from, welcome to another market update. Sorry, I like to do this on the start of the new month, but I don't know why release a market update on April Fools, and I've just been busy with stuff, so this is where we're getting it now. So let's start with our top-down analysis. Now, if you've gone through the previous classes or been here for previous market updates, you know what levels I was looking for. And if you're new here, feel free to watch those updates, especially the how to take advantage of Bitcoin and when's the best time to buy, my thesis on that. But anyway, long story short, let's get into it. So we have our monthly level right here. Sometimes I'll do a line or a zone, but we'll just stick with this zone right here. And I mean, if you look at this on a 3-month time frame, quarterly time frame, this just looks like a classic SR flip. Established a resistance, rejection, bust through, retest, and we're moving up. Hell of a bullish engulfing quarterly. And on the monthly, we have this beautiful morning star pattern with high volume too. So something to take advantage of. And as far as that morning star goes, we have the morning star right here. This doji showing some indecision. A little bit scared they're at like some high time frame resistances, but ultimately this morning star right here, perfect retest of this support and resistance zone. And I mean, that's just beautiful. That's just textbook. Now on the monthly, how we talk about support, now we are at high time frame resistance. And this resistance right here is at this 28,800, 28.8 thousand level right here. And we're hitting this pretty good right now. But I mean, realistically, I know it's a huge zone from 28 to 35, but I mean, I'm looking at any of this could be potential resistance. I mean, you know, this held the support broke through. Do we get that retest here? I mean, using those other technical analysis tools when it comes to using those technical analysis tools, we have our fib level, and I talked about this in other market updates, but we usually reject for the sell around that golden pocket. So naturally, you know, here's our golden pocket right here. Let's make that a fib sell zone, and we do have some resistance from here. Oh, here we go. I mean, it just lines up. And that's just from a monthly perspective. I've been talking about, I'm not bullish. People down here were super bullish. And look, if you caught that Pico bottom, great for you. Pat yourself on the back. But historically, you know, I talk about these EMAs, MAs. We'll take off the 8 and the 34 and leave you with the 50 and 200. And I mean, here we are up over the 50 here. And that gave us 160%. Came back below with COVID. I'm not really expecting anything like that. I mean, who knows? A black swan can happen at any time, right? But once we got over this 50 again, I mean, the all-time high, 698%. And this weekly is over the 50 now. With this beautiful, we have this, man, it could be arguably Dragonfly Doji, a hammer. I feel like it qualifies more as a hammer than a doji, but you know, I guess really knowing the name of the pattern isn't as important as knowing how to play out that pattern, right? So again, we have that MA50 return. Look at this weekly 200, and if you've been following me, I've been saying, you know, it's all in the It's the proof is in the pudding. If you go into the Telegram free channel, I say, hey, I'm not bullish until we get over that weekly MA 200, and I've been talking about that for quite some time. And in fact, if you were in the trading group, we took the rejection off this weekly 200, and I trimmed some fat at this support line right here. Took a decent amount of my position off and got stopped out with break even with the remainder. But while everybody was bullish down here and I wasn't feeling it, I'm now a part of the party. I'd rather catch the move than worrying about catching a knife and praying that's the knife I'm going to catch. But this indigo blue, dark blue line, bounce off the 200, no definitive close, bounce off the 200, close below, bearish retest. We came down in this support zone and finally crossed over it. So in one weekly candle, we've gotten over the weekly MA 50 and the weekly MA 200. Great, right? So we have, where's my drawing tool? We have this complex left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? This is our neckline right here. I was doing a weekly zone here too, but I'll fill out that weekly zone in a little bit. But that's our neckline right there. So to take the measured move, you take it from the head to the neckline, right? Copy that. Oh, nope, sorry. Paste. Add it to the breakout. And that gives us a price target of around 40,000, right? So I've been looking for longs and I've been quite vocal about that, right? So look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Been quite vocal about how I'm looking for longs, especially at this weekly level. To be honest, I thought we were going to get it with all this Binance FUD going on, but it's all about being patient. But we can set this weekly level up now. Make that our weekly level. Now that we're back above this 200, I am totally, hold on, this is weekly. I am totally interested in longs right here. And if you're in the group channel, I've been posting that nonstop. I'm pretty sure I even talked about this in the Bitcoin thesis video, how to play this scenario. But realistically, let's bring that back. I mean, realistically, I'm totally down to catch a long down at 25, take some meat off the bone around 39, and whatever runners I have, pull partials accordingly once we get up to this higher time frame zone right here. Also, another thing, talking from a market structure perspective, look at this right here. And this is where it's just fascinating. We have our high, right? Lower high. Lower low. Lower high. Lower low. Lower high. Had like a lower low right here. Candle close wise, not wick. Lower high. Lower low. And now we are finally getting to the point where we're making a higher high, lower high, higher high. So this is the first time since the all-time high where that bearish market structure, I don't give a shit what you say, from a technical analysis standpoint, classical charting standpoint, that bearish market structure is no mas. Let's delete all that. So it's just something, you know, you want to trade the trend. The trend is your friend. So that's where I'm catching. Let's delete that brush. Unclick that brush. The trend is your friend. So you want to play the trend. No point of fighting it. Now, if this weekly candle, which we have 5 days, 7 hours left, were to close like this pattern right here is a tri-star doji. Okay, so maybe there's some indecision in the market. It's just, and now that I'm seeing this right here, I see some divergences too. So we have this high to low, right? Now OBV, I'll focus on the candle closes when it comes to the divergence perspective. So we have that high, lower high. The candle closes higher, that's one divergence. It keeps going lower right here. And from this point, this would be known as a double negative divergence. I've seen a I've seen triple negative divergences before, so you know there is some room for games to be played here, but you know typically volume precedes price. These dojis here are looking exhausted. I mean, regardless if this weekly closes here or not, we do have 2 doji candles on the weekly showing indecision, getting tired. I'm full on looking for a long here on this WMA 200 in this weekly support and resistance zone. I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, for all I know, we could easily do one of these numbers where we come down, retest, come up, retest, and just consolidate for a little bit. I mean, there's on crypto Twitter, a couple of people who I talk with, I feel like sentiment is just flat out uber bullish. But with these dojis here, if you go through on a daily time frame, I mean, this is flat out. This has to be, I mean, the dojis say it in itself, but this has to be 2 weeks of range right here. 18 days, more than 2 weeks of range in the same price. So then again, when it consolidates, you know, it gives a chance for those oscillators to reset. But I mean, we've tapped this higher monthly resistance zone 1, 2, 3, 4 times on the daily. And if you've seen my analysis before, I always like to reference that as tapping the glass. I mean, glass is going to get weaker the more you bang on it. So one of these taps, now that we've been there 1, 2, 3, 4 times, that glass is going to get weaker. So do we come up and just smack through this because the glass is weak now? Could very well. We could also come down here and test this before we make that punch through SR flip. Another thing here while I'm on the daily time frame is we've flipped the MA50 on the daily and have yet to come retest it, and it's in that weekly zone around that WMA 200, around that weekly SR. But I mean, ultimately on the weekly, I mean we're range bound, just flat out. And by definition, with price being over the WMA 200, that's by definition an uptrend. We are back into our uptrend perspective. I definitely was nervous because for the first time in Bitcoin's history, us being under here, I mean, we were under it. It took us a black swan event to come under, but there was no definitive close. So to see price come up above, price action treating that WMA 200 as an up thrust, ultimately coming through and retesting that perfectly before dipping down for those FTX lows, price is back up again. So is this a spring? You know, is this the deviation? The opposite of an up thrust is a spring. And when markets hit you with them fake outs, I love to take the play the other way. And for people who've been with me for some time now, that is in confluence with those violated engulfings that we used to trade a lot. So yeah, weekly we're range bound. Positive note, we're finally over the WMA 200, which is by definition an uptrend. We are making those higher highs for the first time since the all-time high of in November 8th, 2021. So that's a big deal. And we also have that inverse head and shoulders. We have that measured move that we were discussing around 39,000. Preferred entry that I'm looking at right now is the WMA 200. I am not seeing, you know, we do have those divergences. I mean, arguably, arguably, you could see a bull case too. I mean, it's not as solid as the bear with those negative divergences, but I mean, we have the OBV going down, and the candle closes up higher than this bottom close open down here. So, you know, something to take note of. But that's really it from a Bitcoin perspective. I'm more than happy to. You can pull up some Ethereum, and I mean, weekly MA200 prices above it. Playing games, deviation. I mean, you could easily count this as a range right here. Where is parallel channel? You know, we could be, I mean, classic, beautiful TA. We have our range, close above that midpoint, retest that midpoint, WMA 200. It looks like price may avoid this bear cross. I don't really pay attention to bear, golden cross, death crosses. I feel like when you look at them on MAs, it's a lagging indicator, because let's pretend that this line crosses right here. I mean, yay, it's a death cross, but like, it's already down 70% from the all-time high. So you missed the majority of that move. But ETH, I mean, if Bitcoin's going to drop, this is going to drop too. So it just makes sense here to possibly, you know, maybe you want to catch a bid in this zone right here. This weekly zone. Depending on how these candles close, this could push the WMA 200 up. Maybe this WMA 50 starts flattening out, and we come and retest it. We flip this. We flip the zone. Let's just put it on a line. We flip this zone, and never really came back to retest it. So Ethereum, you want to take a good shot at a long, 1,592. But I tell you what though, going back to Bitcoin right here, I just feel if price were to close above this, I'm going to take a short. And if we close below this right shoulder right here, that's invalidating that. So, you know, giving you the bear case too. As much as I'm saying I'm in bull mode, still want to give you that bear case. I mean, we come down here, I'm looking to short that, as this was an up thrust deviation. Hopefully not though. I mean, I'm a Bitcoin bull. I believe it. Banks are totally, I mean, not just the banks, the whole system's kind of screwing over the common man who works hard for it. So I'm a believer of it. I believe that this is true monetary freedom. But ETH, that's where I'm looking at. Out of curiosity, let's glance at some BNB too. Man, amazing. Even amongst the FUD that's going on with Binance, it is still holding strong. But realistically, you could count this as in a range too. And rejected the top of the rejected the top of the range. So, you know, if we can come up here, this is where we take the retest. Also, we have that horizontal SR. Right? Ascending triangle. Clear as day. On the weekly too, so we can keep that pattern up. But ideally, you know, price fills this out a little bit more, right? Break above. That's how we're playing that. Break below. That's how we're playing that. But I mean, if Bitcoin's gonna follow up or stop and consolidate and give alts the chance to catch up, this is the play we're kind of looking at right here, for sure. Now, I mean, I'm not going to spend time going through all the cryptocurrencies. This isn't a live Zoom format. It's just kind of me recording this class, giving this update. But let's take a look at old DXY. Now, while I'm doing this, let's just remember, in my opinion, I don't do well with fundamentals. I don't do well with correlating Bitcoin with other assets or correlating it with, running, because that whole bull market, Bitcoin and stocks are running together. Now it's like almost Bitcoin has decoupled from the stock market. But with that being said, I mean, these are some old levels that I marked up on a previous market update. We have resistance, breakthrough, reject, reject, reject. And right now we're at support. Right now we're at support. So realistically, we get a weekly close below here. You want to take that bid down. Let's say let's stretch that. Let's say price does one of these numbers, get a close below. Let's retest that down, or perhaps it dunks further. Right? We get down here, retest this weekly level or monthly, and come down. I mean, we started a new month. I would have loved to see confluence where this monthly closes below this level, but it held the support. And I mean, we still have 24 days, 6 hours left on this level. Oh man, this thing's I'm all messed up here. There we go. Sorry about that. But I mean, it's holding it. Rejection, flip, little deviation above. Playing games, but I would have loved to see a monthly close below, retest to further drop. So I guess if you're looking for, I mean, the dollar does look ugly in my opinion, especially with all this like banking shit going on. It just, you got BRICS, other countries opting out of the dollar. I just think it at least makes sense to where if we get the signal to short it, we take this zone for the long at least, man, down to this WMA 200 on the weekly. Short, sweet, and brief. We went over Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, DXY. In my opinion, focus on the four corners of your chart. Everything else is just noise, and just create your trading plan. Plan the trade, trade the plan. That's the motto around here. But before we sign off, looking for longs in that 25, 24 region. I mean, let me pull up my my MT4 here, and I'll even share with you my positions. I have a bid at 25,208, 24,292, 25,447, and I have it layered. So like the first one, we're doing lower lots, and as we get down, I'm gonna increase the hand. But yeah, in between that range, clear as day. If you're new here, please go back and watch my Bitcoin thesis, other market updates. This isn't a full technical analysis program. It's probably going to be better off if you have some background knowledge of technical analysis. But if you are lost and you want to learn more, if you want to learn more about crypto, we have the Honorable Assets Beginner's Guide to Cryptocurrency, written by yours truly and my business partner, Tyreek Paul. We're also holding a technical analysis mentorship program where we teach exclusive Forex strategies that we created, technical analysis, and have a whole bunch of classes on that. But that's really it. Wait. There is something else I wanted to show. This is a cost basis analysis of Bitcoin, right? We have a bullish crossover of short-term holders, and that cost basis is above long-term holder cost basis, which marks the start of a multi-year bull run historically. So we have our short-term holding cost basis, which is the purple line, above the long-term holder cost basis. And each bull run we've had this cross and markets go up. This does not really match. This isn't using technical analysis with my Bitcoin thesis, but it's another tool providing that confluence of your Bitcoin cycles and what the signs that mark that. So we're here now. Another perspective too. So for my people who say like TA doesn't work, technical analysis doesn't work, well, all right, well, here's some non-TA data that is working with the thesis, the Bitcoin thesis, the best times to take advantage of Bitcoin. My theory on that, and it's not just my theory. There's other theories out there too. I just might present it in a different way. But I'm all using. It's not like these tools are exclusive to me. It's all information out there. That is it. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what's going on, feel free to share it. Like the video, subscribe. Not going to harass you, begging you to do all that, but it's just much appreciated. But that's it. I'll probably hit you with another market update whenever I deem it's appropriate, or we can probably check in another 2 weeks. I kind of like taking it low and slow in here and leaving the sauce for the group. That's it. Enjoy your trading time. Usually April is a great month for Bitcoin, and I hope it treats us great in 2023. All right.